Oh, that intro is fucking sick.
All right, that worked well. I was nervous about it, honestly. But we have an intro. We're a proper show now. Right. So I'll move this over here, and then I've got the TikTok. Oh my god, the setup. I mean, we're a little late today. That's my fault, but the setup is better. And we're actually going to start the show a little bit differently today, for one reason, which is what I realized last week is we covered loads of things, but we also missed a lot out, which is because we wouldn't talk about them really. There's nothing to talk about. So just going to do a really quick weekly roundup. This is literally stuff that we can't really talk about it. There's nothing to talk about, but it's just, this is boxing this week. This is what you're meant to be talking about. So
take the carpet, Connor.
Pardon?
Take the carpet, man. Was that
Exactly. Yeah. Right. So Catterall Prograis is delayed due to a Catterall injury. They're looking at maybe an October date, which is, it's good to see that they're redoing it. Jaime Munguia returns after his defeat to Canelo. He's fighting an undefeated, dangerous opponent. Not actually sure. I don't know anything about the opponent, but it's somebody. It is on the Top Rank show. So the stuff about De La Hoya saying he's not moved, I'm not sure that's true. Gervonta Davis versus Shakur Stevenson is potentially set for the 23rd of November in Vegas, but currently speaking, both fighters are denying it, and Stevenson might actually have to do his mandatory against Cepeda. Haney, after the whole Ryan Garcia stuff, is now officially back into the top 10 for pound on the Ring magazine. And pro world champion, I swear, crying his eyes out, pro world champion Beatriz Ferreira, who's in the Olympics, is into the semi-finals, which, I mean, that in itself we actually could talk about, but I think there's too much to talk about, especially with the Olympics. So we'll leave that for now. But right, let's just go straight into Chisora versus Joyce, which I've put fight of the year contender down because I don't. No. Mate. I was You enjoy it?
That was a great fight, but it's not fight of the year contender.
Ooh.
Let's
really?
slow down a bit. Like I said Chisora was going to win. I'm just going to put that one out there.
I know you did. I said Joyce. I was going to bring this up.
But look, Chisora is a prize fighter. Joyce, I don't really know where he goes or what he does. I didn't know what he done when he fought Cash Ali. I didn't know. I didn't understand that fight. It didn't make any sense to me. But yeah, we're here. Is it fight of the year contender? No chance. I would say no. I'm saying like there's one fight already above that. You've got Wardley and Clark.
Oh, I'm not saying it's going to win fight of the year. I'm just saying, in terms of like a domestic level,
it might.
That's a brilliant.
It might finish in Conference League position. Put it that way.
Conference League position. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think now. I mean, Echo Esserman last week, that was better actually. Esserman Cooper, that was better. Oh, maybe I've been too. I watched the highlights today again.
Chisora Joyce for fight of the year stinks. I'm sorry, it does. But it was a good fight.
No.
I'm not surprised Chisora won though.
No, you said it. You said it last week. I mean, I had Joyce, but I think that's a fair little guess. That
bags of experience, fought across different fighters. He's been in the ring with everyone. His resume is twice the amount of Joe Joyce. Like he win or lose, he's been in there with big fighters. From David Hayes, you know what I mean, to Tyson Fury, to Alexander Usyk. He's been in there with big fighters. Yeah. The record is mental. Win or lose, the record's mad. So when you're coming in against somebody like Joe Joyce, who's come on the back of a fight with Cash Ali, I don't know where Joyce goes from here, man. But I think Joyce ain't going to hang up the gloves. He's going to carry on. I just don't see where he fits into this setting now.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to ask that. Where do you think Joyce goes? I mean, Chisora's basically said he's going to get to fight number 50 and call it a day. That's fair enough. He can do what he wants. You're not going to get him out of the sport, so he'll take himself out.
Joyce could fight for a British title at best.
Yeah. Well, so the next thing we're going to talk about, I think, is who I honestly think that's who Joyce is likely going to go in against. All right, we'll respond to that in a second. We'll get onto that. We've just had a comment, so for people on TikTok, we've had a comment regarding the Terence Crawford fight. We are getting onto that, but we'll get onto that shortly. We can do that actually very quickly, but we've got one little thing I want to bring up. So there's Moses Italma, who we will get onto properly in a second. Do you think him versus Joyce?
Huh?
Him versus Joyce?
Moses Italma will plummet Joyce, put him in a spliff, throw him out the door.
That's a brilliant name for Moses Italma's resume. It gets him to that headlining.
Moses Italma would Moses Italma would absolutely plummet Joyce. But yes, he needs a big name on his resume. But I'm saying no one wants him. No one wants that smoke. No one wants to fight him. That's my opinion. Anyone at the level he's at now, that is a risky fight you do not want to take. I think the winner of Daiquiris and Adelaide should be a more realistic fight for him. And obviously, he's got a personal thing with Daiquiris that he doesn't like him. So it'd be interesting if Daiquiris won.
True.
Atuma's Atuma's different. Different. Like he will become a world champion.
Oh, easily. It's not so much if he'll do that. It's whether or not how much of it he'll do, how dominant he'll be, because he's going to be a world champion. He's too young and too good not to be. Honestly, the way he moves, I'm going to show a clip. Joe, we'll just get straight onto him now. We're going to show a clip. If you're on TikTok, I can only apologize. I don't think this is going to work because I've not set it up properly yet, but we'll get there next week. And on YouTube, if we get copyright strike, then it's fine. We didn't mean it. So do that.
Isn't in a hurry. I want a step-by-step approach, he said. And that was a little open. Down on the right hand he goes.
Look at that movement, right? Let's just go back. He's moving like
he isn't in a hurry. I want a step-by-step approach, he said. And that was a little open. Down on the right hand he goes.
I mean, that is ridiculous to do that. I mean, and not, by the way, I mean, a lot of people were saying, oh yeah, it's a bin man. It's it's my cab driver, all this. And I get that, but this is the guy that Fraser Clark couldn't get out of there in 10 rounds.
Yeah.
And that it just gives you a little bit of an understanding of
who do they expect him to fight at 19 though, as well, just out of curiosity?
Yeah, I have no idea. But it's a point to bring up that the guy he's in there with actually isn't he's old, he is old, but Talma's what, 10-0 now? Like, if it was anybody else, you would say 19 years old, 10-0. Yeah, just keep the sort of veterans and those kind of guys coming. But he's taking everyone out. It's getting to it like he's actually forcing it. Because I'm sure Frank Warren loves the idea that we get the youngest ever heavyweight champion of the world again. But if he's realistic, or when he started the career, he probably thought, that's probably not going to happen. We'll take our time.
Yeah.
You can't. You literally can't take your time with this kid anymore. I say kid.
Yeah, I see how Crawford Boxing has another comment, and I think because it's related to heavyweights, let's flag it up quick because he's doing it there. Flag it up on the screen, or do you want me to do it?
Yeah.
There we go. I think Big Bang Zhang v Wilder was fight of the year. Zhang had a B performance against Parker, not loading up on the shots. Parker had an A game. Yeah, I agree. I'm not a massive fan of Zhang, to be honest with you. I think he's alright, but Zhang for me, like he can't. Joshua could go on holiday for a year, travel, come back and fight. Zhang wants to fight Joshua. Zhang had got a year to take off. The age is not on that man's side, so he needs to fight guys now. But I don't think I'm not that impressed by Zhang. Bearing in mind, I've never rated Wilder as well, by the way. So Zhang beating Wilder, I don't think is a massive achievement because how many top 5 world guys have Wilder fought?
Well, the only ones he's fought he's lost to, and that'd probably be only Fury.
And the only one that he's beat is Ortiz.
Yeah, and that was an old Ortiz.
5.
Yeah, and also that's debatable at that point whether or not Ortiz was top 5. I mean, he's up there. I mean, that's a good win. But fight of the year is bold. I don't agree with that. Zhang had a B- performance against Parker. I don't know about. I mean, Zhang was rubbish, but it's because he's slow. I think that was just Parker was way better. He could load up on his shots, but his hand speed is so bad.
Yeah.
It's not going to do anything. Like Parker won't be there. And if we're talking about speed, like Parker's a quick heavyweight. I mean, we've just seen Atalma. That is a ridiculously quick heavyweight.
Atalma would put Zhang out in 2-3 rounds.
I don't know about put him out. To put Zhang out, you'd have to have monster power.
Zhang is not. I'm telling you, man. Like this perception around Zhang for me, I just don't rate him. Don't.
That's fair enough, but his chin. We'll bring up. Zhang's a dangerous southpaw. He's got that loose. Look, Corey Sanders power. Okay. Yeah. I mean, power-wise, you can't fault him definitely, but he's quite slow. He comes in. Against Joyce, he was that little bit lighter, and he was against another slow heavyweight. But because he was that bit lighter, he could actually move. I was there for the first fight, and it was a brutal knockout. That was the best Zhang. But again, a slow heavyweight. You put him in there with Parker, who can actually move, or Fury, or Usyk, or AJ, AJ would be a bad night for him. AJ would finish him. Usyk could probably finish him, honestly. Fury, I think would probably do it as well. I don't think he'll ever touch the top. He's definitely a bogeyman, though. He'll hurt people. There's a lot of people that could get past him, but it's too slow. But I appreciate the comments still. I think you are right. I mean, there's nothing, you can't disagree other than the fight of the year bit. That I don't understand that. But the rest of it was all right. I mean, Atalma, 10 fights. So, yeah, I had a look. Mike Tyson's first 10 fights, he did it a similar sort of time frame, right? Similar time frame. Tyson's first 10 fights, in terms of like the level of opponents, it's a different era of time. We know more about, you can get information much easier now about boxers, but it looks to me like Atalma's 10th fight was considerably more experienced and maybe even harder than Tyson's. And if we keep going at this rate, he will do it because he's going to get himself into the mandatory. He wants British next. He's got 2 years left before he surpasses the point of not being able to. So 2 years' time, I mean, the way he's going. We've got another comment. We'll just bring this up. We'll talk about Joyce. We'll keep talking about Joyce. Right, Churu slow, but Joyce is super slow. Zhang is an odd specimen given his height. He is athletic. Fights the year. I was joking, trolling the wallet. Okay, right. Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, you are right there. I mean, Zhang is like a freak, but they all are. But he is a freak, isn't he? And Joyce is super slow. Yeah. Out of interest, who would you have then, Zhang or AJ? I will move on for now because it will take a bit of delay.
Because you know what?
I know your answer. I know my answer is AJ all day, but I'm just this guy. Al Cuerpo Boxing seems to quite like Zhang, so I'd be interested. Yeah, I mean that's a Talma. We'll keep going with that. We'll just.
I'm just going to pre-warn the viewers. Yeah, I'm waiting for some wings to be delivered to the bedroom, so I'm going to have to put these next to my laptop. Chicken wings. I'm going to go. When I grab them, I'll be 2 seconds. Yeah, that's fine. But I'll let you know when I'm doing it. Sorry, go on.
That's all good. We'll move because we've got a comment about it. We'll move this now. We'll do Crawford Madrimov, no pushover. We'll do this now. Now this is quite a long one because we've actually got the whole event under this one. Bam. But we will start with the main one. And what we'll do is we'll bring up the comment now because we've kind of ignored it. So Al Cuerpo Boxing again. I started with Crawford unanimous decision in 12 rounds yet, but then given Joel Diaz talking about ABC strategies and benefit of doubt for Uzbek's school, it could be a draw. Joel Diaz had a good game plan with Bivol. Yeah, I mean, if I'm honest, I still don't know who's going to win. I think Crawford. I'm going to say Crawford when we predict it in a second. I'm going to say Crawford, but I don't know. Also, we've been restricted on TikTok. Apparently, you can't show people getting punched in the head on TikTok. All right, noted. We'll sort it out.
Do you know what, TikTok? Go and suck your mum, man. Sorry, go on. Carry on.
Yeah, no, I've just got a little note there. That doesn't. I couldn't care less.
When you say we've
Actions.
got restricted, what does that mean?
It just means they won't show it to as many people. So they've also put a thing: the actions in this live are performed by professionals or supervised professionals. Do not
You
attempt.
do that on live.
I don't think it matters. Oh well, who cares? Right. So yeah, I mean, with this comment, I'm just going to move TikTok to the side. Then I don't think that's going to do much today. Yeah, I mean, it's a fair thing to say. The only thing I'd say is having a good game plan against Bivol didn't work. So, he still lost. I think Crawford wins. I still think he wins. It's not enough weight just yet where I think he's going to be slow, and he's still got the reach and the height. The only thing I did see, and I was going to bring it up as a photo, but just pain in the ass to sort out, so we'll have all this ready for next week. Madrimov is huge. Like, he is massive. Crawford's really in shape, fit, all the rest of it, but Madrimov is like a bodybuilder. He's massive.
Madrimov is a serious boxer. One that Crawford can't take lightly. Look, at the end of the day, I said this now. I can't make my mind up who's going to win or lose. All I know is it's going to be a great fight. Terence Crawford does this. It's big. It's big. He's stepping into somebody else's world for this man, or somebody else's world, if you want to call it that. And then this would be the test to see, because the issue is if he can't win here, there's no way he can go up to fight Canelo. No way.
No. But so that's the problem is working out just how good Madrimov is, because we're talking about an elite amateur who's a world title. He's a world champion in 11 fights, and not just like world champion. Like Eddie Hearn gets you some good opportunities, but he's done it by just absolutely battering everyone, except for the draw, which was a great fight. But we're talking about a guy that really comfortable. We do have another comment. I'll bring that in just a second. So I think when we're talking about this fight, it's hard to know, because you've got Crawford, who is a natural welterweight. That is where he could sit in the welterweight division and probably win every single fight. Maybe not Boots, but I think Boots up until whenever he decides to retire. Gaining the weight against a guy that's the best in the division by quite a long way, that's tough. It will be interesting. All right, What I mean, Madrimov might fight conservative and just bank 6 to 7 rounds to get that rematch payday. Crawford is amazing, but he is successful in countering and mistakes. Therefore, Madrimov less risk. I think you're not giving Crawford enough credit.
Carry on.
Yeah, that's all right. I don't think that's enough credit for Crawford, if I'm honest. I think if we're just being flat out, Crawford, you're right. He likes counterpunching. That's kind of how he does it. But he can also. I mean, we saw against Sean Porter when he got told he was down in the rounds. Crawford can come and just take your head off if he wants. Oh.
Why? Yes. Sorry, carry on.
That's good. If Crawford wants to, he can put his foot on the gas. He can counterpunch. He can defend like nobody else. He can attack. I don't see Madrimov just banking 6 to 7 rounds. I also don't think to say get that rematch payday. Chicken wangs, right? I don't.
Sorry, Connor. If you don't want me to eat, I won't eat. Sorry, bro.
Nah, eat.
I'm eating and talking.
Yeah, you're all good. Also, I think Madrimov is pushing. I saw an interview today. Madrimov saying that his dream fight is Canelo. So although we've all focused on the Crawford moving up, there's nothing. And also, it's probably more realistic for Madrimov. There's nothing stopping him. Obviously has to beat Crawford. Well, probably has to beat Crawford. But, we're talking about a guy that's hungry. He's a world champion already. But I don't think the idea that he's going to get in there and just want to just bank 6 or 7 rounds and get a rematch payday. Also, don't think he's going to get a payday. A rematch payday's getting, a rematch. He's the champion. So I don't see why he would. If he beats Crawford, I don't think Crawford's getting another shot.
I don't think Eddie Hearn's negotiated. I'm sorry. I don't think they've negotiated that contract about Crawford getting a rematch.
Really? Okay. I see why, but
I mean, if I'm Madrimov, I don't owe you shit. If I win, I win.
No. Yeah. Really, I mean, if you're doing it realistically, it should be that if Crawford wins, there should be a rematch. But that's never going to happen. But
do you know what though? Crawford's a big draw. That's the money. Madrimov's got the money. That's the thing. As much as he's champion, Terence Crawford's the A side.
Oh yeah, massively. I mean, it's Crawford Madrimov in the posters. He is the A side, but could they do a rematch? I mean, they could. I don't know. We'll see how good the fight. I think it'll be more dependent on how close and how competitive the fight is, rather than anything else. Now, I mean, this card is massive, so we could probably do a whole episode on it, but we actually do have a lot of other things to talk about. So we'll kind of quickly get through it. So we've got Jared Anderson stepping up against Bakole.
Yep.
I think Bacole's going to win that, if I'm honest. I don't think Anderson's best win, you could argue, is Charles Martin.
I think Jared Anderson's going to beat Bakole.
You think he'll beat him?
Yeah. I rate Jared Anderson's speed for how he moves, for how big he is. The only thing that worries me about Jared Anderson is his focus, but he seems locked in for this fight. But he gets into a lot of stuff outside of the ring.
Yeah.
And, that's my only concern is how focused can he be come fight night? And as well, Jared Anderson wins this fight, he cements himself on that stage of heavyweights. He starts wanting them big fights. As a big name he beats is Bakole. Bacole's a very good fighter. Bacole's been sparring with top heavyweights and putting them on the floor. I ain't saying names, but big heavyweights.
And he's saying Dubois.
I'm saying higher than Dubois.
I mean, there's stuff about Joshua as well, but
Ukraine. Go over to Ukraine. Yeah.
There's all sorts.
There's all sorts. But I hear Bakole mashes. No worries, Alcapo. Thank you for joining us, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I remember. Before I carry on, love to him for the questions and everything else as well, man. I really appreciate it. Join us
it was good.
Whenever you want. If you want to drop in, have a chat, shout us. Yeah, man. And that goes for anyone else that's watching. But going back to Jared Anderson and Bakole, if he wins, he puts himself in a position to generate massive fights. My problem with Jared Anderson is I like him as a boxer, but I don't know if he's got that mentality to see it through at the higher levels. And I mean that mentality outside of the ring.
Yeah.
That is my big question mark for him. He gets into a lot of stuff outside the ring that he doesn't need to be getting involved with. And I just feel like when you get to the top level, these heavyweights don't do that.
No. I do think Bakole will win. I think the reasons you've just said about Jared Anderson potentially not winning are the reasons that I've got for Bakole doing it. I don't think he's got the experience yet. His the matchmaking for him has been brilliant in the sense of he's got his name out there. He's a bit of a superstar in America, definitely. But in terms of actual fight experience against a top heavyweight that can move you, that can hit you hard and everything, this is the first time he's had that, and he's getting all of it at once. So I do think Bakole will do it. I also think Bacole's like criminally underrated. I think it's the winner will be, Bacole's WBA mandatory, I believe. So whoever wins this, I assume if Anderson did, he would be mandatory to fight for
these boards. These boards need to start stripping the heavyweights of titles, man. Because if they're not going to defend after they do their unification bout, make way for the next one.
Yeah, I mean the IBF did it, but they've done it because they're getting the Joshua Dubois payday. But to be fair, they said they did it before that. But anyway, I'll go Bakole. But it wouldn't surprise me if Anderson is just that much better, and he is as good as everyone says. He's almost like his good friend Shakur Stevenson for me. Yeah. Except Shakur is way more proven, but it's a similar thing where just want to see them with the elites now. Just see how they do, and maybe we'll find out is that they actually are as good as everyone says, or a bit of realization and go, all right, reality check, you're great, but you're not that level. But we'll see. But Yeah, either way, that's a great fight. I mean, another great fight between two heavyweights. Andy Ruiz versus Big Baby Miller. The sort of Anthony Joshua storyline quite carries that fight. I mean, apparently they're good friends.
Well, they're boys, though, man. They're not. There's no venom in this fight. It was just we need a fight. Will you fight? Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't really know what to make of that fight. I don't really rate Jarrell Miller at any sort of level.
No.
I am a fan of what Ruiz has done within boxing in terms of his amateur career, professional, because I think he's massively underrated, and I don't think he gets the recognition he gets sometimes because he's just seen as his fat heavyweight. Which I think is really narrow-minded, by the way, because he's a fast puncher. But I do think that he is at the level he'll be at. Ruiz will not fight any of the top heavyweights. Jarrell Miller cannot fight any of the top heavyweights, in my opinion. I just don't see him beating them top guys.
Yeah. What about Ruiz, though? What about Ruiz? Because obviously he's beaten Joshua. I mean, Joshua then outboxed him quite easily in the rematch.
In the second fight, and then in the third fight, you've got Joshua and Ben Davidson in the corner. No chance.
Yeah,
I think it's a calculated Joshua now. I think Ben Davidson's got him doing stuff that he was already able to do, but didn't do it. And I feel like when Joshua's at his best, which seems to be every fight going, he's growing with confidence. He's more active than Ruiz as well. And this is the other issue. I don't think Ruiz has got the mentality to be able to do a training camp, go and fight. Do you see where I'm coming from? So
yeah, I mean, you said about the him being overweight, and you are right. Like he's a heavyweight. They're going to be big, and not everyone can cut down like Joshua or just like Wilder's always in good
Tyson
shape.
Fury,
not everyone can do
not everyone can lose weight like Tyson Fury, man.
No, but Ruiz does come in too big sometimes. We've seen it. We've seen it in the rematch against Joshua. He was huge, and he shouldn't have been. There was no excuse for that. I mean, that's pretty clear as day that he got the money and it went to his head, and he's just slacked off there.
Yeah.
This fight, he looks big. It's hard to tell until he gets on the scales and we get like an actual number and sort of compare it. It's hard to say. But I do think I don't want to question it, but his work ethic for me lets him down a bit. I'm not there every day, but he's not fought in like a year and a half, 2 years.
This is a problem with boxing, though, man. Like, these guys fight for a year and a half, come back and expect the world. And it's like, what do you expect? You want to fight Joshua? This is your first fight in a year and a half.
Yeah. But I think it'll be a good fight, though. I mean, don't know where the winner goes. Don't really know what the loser does. I mean, to be honest, the loser, I don't have no idea what the loser does. It's almost worse than just retirement. It's like completely just off, just not even really a thing that people will watch. But it's a good fight. It's kind of hard to say. Now, I'm going to get the names up for some of the other fights because I'm going to struggle to pronounce them by memory. So, obviously, it's a ridiculous card. They're calling it the best card that's ever taken place in America. What do you make of that? No.
I mean, that's saying something about American boxing if they think that's the best card to be ever taken place in America. Really and truly, that is saying something, respectively. Yeah. But maybe Stack's card, I can agree. I don't think Terence Crawford and Madrim was the best fight to happen in America, though. But Stack, do you know what? Cards maybe, because historically, if I was to ask you who was on Mayweather Madonna 2, no one could tell me that. I can't even remember without looking. Do you understand?
Yeah.
People will remember these fights. Do you know what? I get why people are saying it, actually, but it's not. But it's a fair argument.
Yeah. Right, we've got probably one of my favourite fighters just in the world ever, whatever. Pitbull Cruz is fighting. I completely forgot he was fighting. I love watching him. He's brilliant as well. And it's just like, boxing skill and IQ is just out as well. He's fighting Jose Valenzuela. Honestly, I haven't seen enough of the other guy, but I will just say Pitbull because I don't see any other outcome because I love Pitbull Cruz. Yeah, I can't comment on that too much. I don't know enough about the other guy. We've also got David Morrell versus. Oh, fuck me, I'm going to say this wrong. David Morrell's fighting. I'm not even going to bother. I'm sorry, mate. I will
Butcher it, man.
But
Butcher it.
Radivoje Kalajosic smashed it. Right. David Morrell's fighting him. David Morrell is top. He's top. He's brilliant. He, I think, is actually fighting at light heavyweight. He's moved up. He's given up on the 168 dream. So that division just got even more stacked, which it didn't really need.
Imagine Canelo fully moves up to light heavyweight.
I think I mean this in the nicest way. I think he'd lose a lot of fights there now.
You think?
Well, Bivol at light heavyweight, I think, beats him every time. Beterbiev is probably too big. Although Beterbiev's age, but that's always like we always say that, and then it turns out he's fine. And also he might be on stuff anyway. So, but I guess him and Canelo can just go crazy. Then you've got David Morrell. Benavidez is bigger at 175. He didn't look great against. I don't know. Maybe. He's not winning a world title just yet, though. Not whilst Bivol and Beterbiev are there. But yeah, no, Canelo's holding up the belts. Oh, we got vacated. That happened right after our stream last week. He no longer has the IBF world title. Once again, the IBF have ordered somebody to do a fight, a champion. And the champion's not done it, and they've stripped them. So once again, the
IBF are moving reckless.
Yeah. Well, they make decisions. I don't always agree with them, and I still don't agree with the Joe Cordina one.
I don't agree with the Usyk and Fury one.
No, because that had a set rematch. That was set. There's no need. But do you know what? But they did it. That's what's important. They've actually done it. They've given an opportunity to Dubois.
Mauricio, take notes.
He'll never take notes. Oh, he'll take notes, but they're bank notes. He's not going to take actual notes. And then on the final fight, I mean, there was weirdly part of the undercard was last night. Don't know if you saw that. There was 3 fights last night that are part of the
weird.
season
I was
card.
watching. So I was watching a little bit of that, and I just thought that's quite weird, man. That is really weird.
I don't know if I like the idea or not. I don't think I do because it was after the media workout.
I don't like the idea of having prelims. That's what I'm going to call them. Prelims.
Yeah.
Just keep boxing as it is. Saturday night undercard fight.
Yeah.
I don't understand why we need to have this Friday night fight business. It's just too much. We're doing too much now.
I'm partial to a Friday night, but you're right. It's
Friday
just weird
night having its own card, but not a prelim.
Yeah. No, the card is on one night. It shouldn't be 2 nights, especially when you got to think that fans that are getting there for the Saturday, not the Wednesday.
I wonder how much they charge. For them tickets.
I don't know. But I thought it was after the open workout, so it's possible that it was quite cheap. It was just like
if you're there,
I like the idea. I just don't think it. I don't see how that works, but I like the idea. Finally, the 5th fight the 6th fight on the actual main card, if you like. Andy Cruz returns against Antonio Moran. Antonio Moran, again, I don't know too much about. I've seen him once, and he's very good. He's got 32 wins. I can't remember, but I want to say 3 losses and then 1 draw in his record. So it's a good record. And he's got a few knockouts. So it's a good fight for Andy Cruz. I still think Cruz will win. He's too good to lose that, if I'm honest. No, with all respect to Antonio Moran. But that's a proper fight. From top to bottom, every fight, you can't really call it, probably except Pitbull Cruz, which I would say that's quite one-sided. But maybe David Morrell's. But they're all competitive, and that, I mean that's what's good about these cards.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question, Connor. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that we will see? We asked this before, but do you think we'll see Canelo and Terence Crawford before we see Jared Ennis and Terence Crawford?
Canelo and Terence Crawford before we see
Ennis and Crawford.
I don't think we'll ever see Ennis versus Crawford. So yeah,
I don't think I'm a firm believer that we'll never see Canelo until Crawford, and we'll never see Ennis and Fink, and Ennis and Crawford.
I don't know. Depends how much money they're going to offer to Canelo after
if
this.
They offer Canelo like 200 million, I think he'll do it. But let's be honest, you've got to talk big bucks. Considering what he generates on each fight, he's going to need double that. That's what I'd charge anyway. Price is a price. So, yeah man.
They were saying potentially that would be the headline of the Mexico versus USA or USA versus Mexico card. And that, I mean, that just sells itself anyway. Add Crawford Canelo on it. That's crazy. And some of the fights you can make on there. That, I mean, that it depends. If Canelo comes back with because whatever they offer Canelo, he'll probably want to ask for more, unless it's crazy money. But even then, he'll probably, if he's sensible, he'll say, "Can I get a bit more?" Just try his luck. But yeah, I mean, that's the fight card covered. I don't think there's too much to add. I mean, we'll go right. Let's do some official predictions. Right, we'll just clamp it all down in one. Crawford, Madrimov. Who have you got?
Crawford.
Yeah, has to be. I mean, I'm the same, Crawford. But won't be surprised. And I will. I'll be a little surprised if Madrimov does it. We'll only do the ones that we can really put guesses for. Andy Ruiz, Jarrell Miller.
I'm going to go with Miller.
Go Miller? I was going to go Ruiz. Okay, so we've got another heavyweight prediction against each other there. Bacoli, Anderson. We've already kind of covered that, but
Jared Anderson.
You are Anderson. I'm Bacoli. So we're 2-2. And the other three, I'll go Cruz, and I'll go Cruz, Morrell. But if I'm honest, I don't know enough about. Actually, no. David Morrell, I think, will definitely win. Andy Cruz, I think, should win. And Pitbull Cruz. That's right. I'll keep talking. Pitbull Cruz should win. But I don't know enough about the other guy, so that's always exciting. We'll move on. We'll move on without Paolo because he's been horrible and left me.
I'm back. Sorry.
There we go. Right, we've moved
on.
Connor.
Sorry, Connor.
Connor's
gonna bollock me after this interview, you know. So you need to never do that again.
I was late as well. So
listen, your last three predictions, I'm pretty much in agreement to you, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think you can go any other way with those.
Yeah.
It'd be an upset on all of those if they go the other way. Right. Now, we didn't mention this last week, which shows you how poorly it was promoted. But Clarissa Shields.
I don't know why I just done that, but yeah.
No, that was cool. We'll put that in a little clip. But Clarissa Shields returned on Saturday and won 2 weight divisions in one night, which we won't cover now because that's just ridiculous and should have done it last week. But she won by knockout in round 2.
She's a quote. Yes.
Yeah.
We ask him that.
Yeah.
She's a quote.
That's the question. So realistically, it's Serrano, Taylor, and Clarissa Shields are the 3 that you know what?
Yeah. Do you know what? Yeah. I'm gonna put Katie Taylor first, Clarissa Shields second, Serrano third.
I would agree. Yeah. Only because of what Katie Taylor's done for women in the sport. Yeah.
Katie Taylor's done that, and then Clarissa Shield, I can't knock her achievements at how much she's done, what she's done. Like, do you know what it is about her as well? Yeah, don't get me wrong. When she was out here calling like Keith Thurman out and all these things, I was cracking up and I was like, no way. But you know what? There was a female coach who commented on the post and really opened my eyes up to something, like a female boxing coach. And it was like, have you not stopped for a minute to think that because of her mentality, she thinks that she can beat them? So when you're looking at it like that, it's not outrageous that she's saying she can beat Keith Thurman in a fight. And do you know what? I hear it. I never looked at it like that, but I was like, she's just got a monster mentality. I rate her highly, by the way. I rate Clarissa Shields highly.
Yeah.
I think she's a slick boxer. Her movement, her speed, everything. Like watching her fight, watching her against Savannah Marshall, what a fight! But let me tell you something. In that fight, to demonstrate the skill. Don't make that a meme as well, Connor, because I know you was.
No, I was there. That's what I was going to say. I was there for that one.
No, but I thought he was going to make a meme of. Let me tell you something. You never seen that one.
Oh,
yeah.
No, I don't.
So Clarissa Shields is for me, Katie Taylor, Shields, Serrano in the conversation of greats, and I put Katie Taylor number one because of what she's done at Olympic level and what she's done at just in general.
Yeah, she's opened the doors. That's the thing. I don't. If you take away Katie Taylor, then the success of Shields in terms of probably exposure is way less. But Shields as an actual boxer, I think is by far the best that the women's side has ever had. I don't think anything touches her. Like honestly, I mean,
how many weights has she won titles at? 2?
No. Technically 5.
Sorry, I was way off.
But this is the ridiculous thing of she won light heavyweight and heavyweight on Saturday.
Yeah, that's some. That's a
WBC thing, which is why I thought we would just leave because we literally every week we get into them.
It's always Mauricio, isn't it? It's every week I've got to say something about Mauricio. God forbid, we've never interviewed him, Connor. Never.
Oh, I'd love to bring him on.
I would love to bring Mauricio on to ask him what the hell he's doing.
Do you know what though? He did a podcast with George Groves, the George Groves podcast, which is really good. And I actually found myself, I was like, he's quite a nice geezer. But
no, he's a very nice guy. Very nice guy from what I can see.
The way he runs his
decision making and business acumen is mad.
Yeah.
So, I'm not attacking his character or personality. I don't.
No, of course.
But I just think like Money Man Suleiman is what you get for your business acumen. I will attack your business acumen, but I will never attack a man's personality or dignity or personal character without me knowing them. That's not me. Yeah.
That's
I think boxing fans can be strange sometimes because when you see the comments. Here's another one. Dave from Leon C types on Instagram. That boxer's a melt. Like he's a proper melt. I hope he hangs himself. This is a kind of Instagram comments that you see.
Yeah. Like
from really, really disgusting comments, by the way, that I think is mad. Like you've got to really take a step back. And if you are digging people like that on Instagram, we can put some links to the bio. You can get help. So but I will attack Mauricio Suleiman's business acumen. Yes,
it's fair enough. I mean, he the way I understand it is that the definition of a heavyweight title changes between organizations. So WBA have heavyweight as the exact same as the men's. Yeah. So their light heavyweight is 175 pounds. The WBC have their heavyweight at 175 pound limit, something like that. So she technically won WBA and WBC, but different weight classes, which is absurd because it's not even the cruiserweight one in the middle. Oh, as in she didn't win that. But that's not her fault. So that's a good idea.
Sorry, I'm just letting people know you can, if you want to join. Yeah. Sorry.
No, we should have that up all the time. We should have that up more. I don't even think to do that. But yeah, so obviously not her. Realistically, she's a 4-division champion, but can't take it away. She technically has 5, so. But she's the best boxer, bar none, that the women's game has ever had. Probably could be beaten now, not as in beaten in the ring, as in there's probably someone coming up that will be better because so much money now and so much opportunity. Well, so many opportunities for the women, but Clarissa Shields is just on a different planet completely. Yeah. And like Serrano and Taylor are like sluggers. They're brilliant at boxing as well. I'm not discrediting them, but they get in there and they go to war every single time. Shields against Marshall just outdid her. Outboxed her.
Let me tell you, Savannah Marshall is a phenomenal boxer as well. Like phenomenal. I rate Savannah so highly. I was lucky enough to be at that fight with Savannah and Clarissa Shields. That fight card will go down in history in British boxing because I think that's the first all women's card.
Yeah.
At the O2, sold out 20,000 people.
Yeah, I was there.
And a young Francesca Hennessy jumped in the ring, I think, on that fight when she wasn't a professional. She was much younger, which is mad. Because you would have been young yourself when you watched that. Kind of, really. Not even that young, but younger than you are now.
17, something like that, yeah.
So, Francesca jumped in the ring a couple of times with Savannah Marshall. That's her idol, but not idol, but somebody who she looks up to. But yeah, Savannah Marshall, phenomenal boxer. And obviously she's doing her thing in the PFL now as well.
Yeah. That card was ridiculous. Lauren Price who's on the card, is now world champion. Caroline Dubois, it's only a matter of time before she's technically an IBO world champion.
I don't think, though, respectively, as a very unpopular opinion with Caroline Dubois, I think she's a phenomenal fighter, but I just think market-wise, for Katie Taylor, because of the fights that are out there for her, bearing in mind she's fighting Serrano in November, and then I think that she should revisit the Chantel Cameron fight. Those two fights will make her more money than fighting Dubois. And Katie Taylor's at the age now where she's been there, done that, chopped it up, called out the older fighters, or she was there. She is now that older fighter. Caroline Dubois is far down on her list in terms of, because Caroline Dubois is up and coming. I think she will be a world champion. She will become I think she'll do close to what Chantel Cameron, Katie Taylor's done in division. No doubt about it. She's a talented boxer. But I just think the business side of boxing takes over so much nowadays. When you look at the business side of it, Caroline Dubois, I don't know if right now that's going to be a fight that Eddie Hearn will rush to make because of the money side of it. In my opinion,
it's dangerous as well. It's a dangerous fight for Katie Taylor, and
Caroline Dubois has got to step up as well and start fighting. Like she's got a challenge ahead of her on the weekend. Obviously, I know we're going to that shortly, but she's got to have more experience fighting these fighters now, moving up a level. You can't just jump from here to Katie Taylor, in my opinion. But then Katie Taylor is getting on, and I think Caroline Dubois also poses a lot of problems for her. But that may also, and I'm not questioning Katie Taylor's character, but that may also be the reason. Is it a fight she needs to take? No, not really. But if she does take the fight, could she be in trouble? Most definitely. There's pros and cons to it, but I think the pros are the positive points of why the fight's tough, and the cons are the negatives, and I think the negatives outweigh the positives. And unfortunately, the business side of it makes a massive deal up for it. Sorry, I'm ranting, but God.
No, you're right, though. You are right. I think Katie Taylor could well retire within the next year and a half.
I think she's got 2 fights to her left, Serrano and Cameron.
Yeah.
Because I think Cameron, God.
Dubois could be on the verge of it. Just needs to keep active. Obviously, he is fighting this weekend. We will talk a little bit about that. But we are going to move on because we've actually spent... Well, no, actually, we've done the main topic, so we're actually fine for time. But
we're a good time today, Connor.
Yeah, I know. We're doing well. So, Olympic boxing is a mess. Now, before we get into the main sort of topic, we're just going to talk very quickly about the judging, because we always talk about judging. Well, if we ever talk about amateurs, it's going to be judging. Now, I've only watched 2 of our fighters, both lost, and the first one wasn't a robbery. I can't remember her name. Sorry. That's my fault. Should have done my research. Second was Delicious Ori, who fought. Now,
what a name, by the way.
Yeah, I know. Great name.
What a name, by the way. But yeah.
No, you can play that. That's not too bad. Right. So.
Connor, I see what you're doing there. All right, cool. Yeah, go on. We get you.
So right. He probably should have gone through. And the judges again split decision loss, which is now 5 out of 6, I believe. 5 out of 6 of our boxers have gone have lost on split decisions. Quite a few where you can dispute it. Some not so much, but still.
It's not a good time for GB this year, man.
No. Now, we've got one guy who did get through, so well done to him. Again, don't know your name because I'm an arsehole and didn't do my research. And impressively, and I could be wrong, I think her name's Ngamba, who is a refugee who now represents Great Britain or something like that. And she's managed to get through, and that's brilliant. That's a really nice story. And also would do wonders if she could medal or something. Like, just what a story. But that would do really good right now with there's an awful lot of racism, and that'd be quite nice. It's like, yeah, that'd be a really good story. So that would be nice.
Have that one and stick it there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. So I mean that I'm backing. I'll be watching her next fight. I really hope she does well. Not us, but Republic of Ireland are doing quite well. Sort of me, kind of not, but either way, I'm happy with them. Right.
Yeah, you're Scottish.
My mum's Scottish, but my granddad was Irish. My stepmom's Irish, so it's kind of got to include it.
But you're not related to your stepmom, so what does that mean?
I know, but they're still family, aren't they? My stepmom's my stepmom. Her family and my family. It's kind of we're all family.
Fair enough.
Right. Anyway, so let's get on to the main issue. Now I've done my research here, and I'm gonna get my notepad out because I want to get the names right because I don't want to start. You can go ahead and.
Can I just ask you a question? Because I know you gave me a warning before we started.
Oh yeah.
I'm not going to mention the opening ceremony. I won't mention it. We'll move on from that.
Oh, we can do that. That's fine.
No, you all know that you all saw it. I'm just not going to get into it because I'm going to get in trouble. I will mention the fact though, before we start with the boxing, I think that this Olympics has really been down. A cloud's been over it because of the decision to have the netball player who raped a child perform.
Oh yeah, the Netherlands guy. Yeah, it's grim, fucking disgusting. They've tried covering it up.
For me, the fact this is my personal opinion. The fact that he served his time and is rehabilitated. First of all, like not being graphical, getting into detail, but I don't understand how you one could even bring yourself to do something like that, and two, be rehabilitated from it. I just think you've got a name for life, and that's on you. You know what I mean? We all wake up in the morning, we just choose not to do stuff like that because we're normal.
Yeah.
And it's just weird.
No, he should
very
be
sick.
right though.
And he should not be at the Olympics. And I am disgusted with the Olympic Committee for it because the fact that you've got a rapist in the Olympics representing the Netherlands says a lot about these kids look up to these Olympic figures in swimming, boxing, shooting, whatever it is you're into. Yeah, you've got a young audience watching. What does that say to the young people? And what does that say to the victim? I've done the crime, but give me a gold medal and everyone cheer for me. Nah, forget that. And to be honest with you, Connor, that's why I've watched the minimum amount of the boxing at the Olympics. I'm going to be brutally honest with you. I've watched the fights, but hesitantly. But other than that, and that's only for the media coverage of what we do, I'm not watching any of the other Olympics. Just because I can't. There's so many things wrong with this Olympics, but that was one thing I thought is worth mentioning because we definitely condemn anything like that, and that person should not be representing their country or be on a podium holding up a gold medal. Is sick. So big
anyway, they shouldn't be in the public eye in any shape or form.
Yeah,
and I personally think they should just be in prison for life, but the laws are the shitty laws. Anyway, no, you're right though, and then we can bring that up. That's fine. If you're trying to cancel people for that, you're a bit of a. You can't say the C word, can you?
Twat.
YouTube, twat. Yeah, YouTube doesn't like the C word. But anyway, the C word. Anyway, right. We're going to get on to the more potentially cancelable topic, although I don't think it is. transgender athletes in the Olympics this year. We've had 2 cases where the trans athlete has beaten the I don't know how to word it, but I might word it wrong, but I don't care. Right, the woman all her life athlete has been beaten, and we've had 2 situations where one, the beating is so bad that I was going to get a photo up, and then I thought, I don't know the rules on showing bruising. I know there's rules about cuts. I don't know about bruising, so we'll leave it for now. But you've probably seen it anyway. It's gone quite viral. That shouldn't happen in the amateur game. The big gloves, that should never happen. So the fact that has happened just shows you that I completely understand these people are taking loads of medication and then they're doing everything they can. Sometimes, although we're going to get onto one person who I think is a horrible bastard, but they're doing all this, and yet we've still got this result. And it's like medication doesn't work 100% of the time, and it's too risky in a fight game to have the mix, and that is a shame, but it is the way it is.
So I can kind of throw a little bit onto this because I was watching something with Fight Fan TV earlier on, put a post up, shout out to Fight Fan TV, which was about it. So contrary to what a lot of reference to this is Fight Fan TV, you can check out on Instagram, great podcast for boxing. Contrary to what a lot of outlets are posting, here are some of the facts on Iman Khalif, Algerian boxer, born as a woman.
Yeah, so this is the bad one. She beat the Italian in 46 seconds. Yeah.
Iman is a woman, not a transvestite, and obviously these are just the kind of things we're putting out. She has hyperandrogenism, a condition characterized by abnormally high androgen levels in her blood, leading to elevated testosterone and the presence of XY chromosomes. So this is what we've heard. She's a woman. I'm still not agreeing with her boxing at the Olympics in the female category. Because as much as there is a disability, if she presents those higher levels of testosterone and these XY chromosomes, which, can make you very maley, if that makes sense. Is that the word? Maley? Is that even a word?
I don't think it's a word, but it's fair enough.
We run with it. You are naturally going to have an advantage over your opponents in the ring, female. And we saw that with the Italian fight. What I think should have happened is, and I believe there is medication out there that you can take to bring your testosterone levels down. Supposedly, she failed the drugs test and gender test for the Olympics, for the World Championships in 2023 in India.
Yes, so she's failed 2 in the past. She failed last year, and she failed one in 2022 as well.
So this one, apparently, she got her levels to normal for the test. But what does that even mean? Because if the levels are normal for the test, but then you all right?
Yeah, the lights just died, so we're going with the main shitty light, but the quality, just carry on. The quality will work. It'll focus.
So obviously the issue is do these levels stay the same throughout the competition after taking his medication before, or does her levels elevate again? And that's the question. And also, there are question marks around her gender. Look, I'm just pointing out what I'm seeing online.
Yeah.
That's all well and good, saying she's born a female, whatever. That's fine. But because of these adverse findings, there's question marks around it. And, unfortunately, I don't think she could turn professional because I feel like it's a lot more strict at professional level. And I don't think the professional game would allow it, personally. Although, I don't know. It's all a bit of a mess. I mean, we're talking about Iman Khalif, but there's also another boxer who's in with the same thing. Yeah. So she failed 2 gender tests, but that doesn't say that person was born a male or female. All I'm seeing is Iman Khalif, stuff about Iman Khalif. Apologies if I'm pronouncing that name wrong. But I don't know. It doesn't sit well with me. If you want my opinion, no, I don't think she should be boxing at the Olympics in a female category. It's a mess. Yeah. I'm just going to put that one out there now.
I think you have to put it to a bigger picture, right? Which is But it is a shame that there's probably not enough trans athletes that happen to be boxers as well for them to have their own division. And I completely understand why they wouldn't want their own division. But if it's potentially life-threatening to somebody, or you get into a point where you've got an Olympian boxer has to say, no, I can't do this after 46 seconds of the first round. If that's the point we're getting to, then it's dangerous. And as much as it's kind of, maybe it isn't completely fair, but it's a bit of you might have to suck it up and just, you're not going to be able to compete in the Olympics, especially in any really crossover, because if you get to the pro game, then it's a definite no. Because imagine that 46 seconds was professional with smaller gloves, and then it's like, well, then it's potentially you're putting the other guy in hospital. So
the problem that she's got now is because of the limelight that she's been put in, no one will fight her. So what I think, as female boxers, they would do is, if it becomes a safety issue, you boycott the fight. To be honest with you, you don't fight. And I know people don't like that, but I don't think Iman Khalif should be boxing in the female division with those high levels of. And I'm not disputing her gender. Yeah, before you lot jump down my throat, I'm reporting the facts as they are. She's way too strong to be fighting with females with these spiked levels.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the problem is. Yeah. We're not sitting here and having a go at her for her gender or her potential. I don't know if it would count as a disability or whatever it counts as, but having the XY chromosome and all the rest of it. We're not sitting here and saying, oh, like blah, 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 just being horrid. It's a pure safety thing of, does she have an unfair advantage? Or is she getting in the ring with an advantage that the other person can't have? Yes. So shouldn't be fighting. They shouldn't be together. And the other side of it is, could she get in there with in the men's divisions? Probably not. She'd probably be the other way, and then it's dangerous on her. So unfortunately, it is one of those where you got to say, it is a shame to say it. I don't even want to say it, but it's probably boxing isn't a sport you can do. You're right, though. The pro game, I don't think anybody would even sign her through the risk of just constant adverse findings. The amateur game, she's failed. The World Championship ones was before the finals, as in before going into the main tournament with the stadiums and everything. Like, she was qualified. So she couldn't do that. The one before that, I can't remember exactly what it was for, but I know she got done beforehand. So it's like, I don't even know what she can do. Never mind the danger side. If we just focus in on the one person, what can she actually do in boxing now? And another point is that the Olympics, again, probably shouldn't have allowed her to come.
No.
If we've got two cases where other competitions, like the World Championships, have said, no, you're not fighting here, then why is she at the Olympics? That she shouldn't be. And that's unfair on her as well, even just sort of giving her this idea that she can go and win Olympic gold.
Game's the game, man.
And then ruining it after. But it's a mess, and it is dangerous. And you will, if you search it up, you'll see the photos of the women that were in there with, one with Maine and the other with the other lady that I can't remember her name. And you'll see one of them is just like, her whole face is just green from bruising.
Yeah.
In an amateur fight. I mean, that should never happen. It's so dangerous. So, yeah, no, that's an absolute... No. I think we'll probably leave it unless you've got something else you would like to add. I think we'll leave it there because I don't think we want to keep...
I'll be honest with you, I've got nothing to say about it anymore, and I don't want to waste the episode talking about it. I've said my bit.
Yeah.
Move on. I'm not going to give... I'm in the thing of I'm not going to give it loads of energy. That's the energy I've got for it. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, unfortunately.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's got their opinions. But yeah, go on.
Yeah. So another fight card. We've done this in a weird order, but we had somebody come in and they were giving comments about Terence Crawford fights. We moved that earlier in the stream. So Chelly versus Simpson at the Bradford ground, at the Bradford City football ground. So
Barnsley.
Good stadium. Barnsley. Shit. Yeah, Barnsley. Oh. God. Anyway. Yeah. Great fight. Domestic fight. Caroline Dubois on the undercard. It's a good card. It's a good fight. Not a whole lot to say about it. I think Simpson will win. If I'm just going straight into it, Callum Simpson, I think, will win potentially. Zach Chelly's a weird fight style, but and I really like Zach Chelly. I think Callum Simpson's actually probably a bit above that level already.
Yeah. I'm going with Simpson, man. I've had the pleasure of talking to him a few times, and I rate him very highly. I think he's doing good things. He's young. I'll be brutally honest with you. I've watched a lot of Chelly's fights, and I look at the Simpson fight, and I just think Callum's going to be a bit too much for him.
Yeah.
That Chelly's a really good fighter, but it takes a little while to get into it. Simpson's might be the quickest opponent that he's fought to date. So, styles-wise, it favours Callum, because Zach Chelly, in my opinion, isn't an explosive fighter in speed. He's really kind of gets better over time, if that makes sense. Whereas Callum Simpson is fairly quick, and he'll push on and press. And that's what I want to see, and that's what I think we're going to see with it. And great card as well. But Barnsley, home ground, all of the fans are going to be there for him. That is massive, by the way. They actually were talking about it's 7,000 capacity in the stadium, but the only reason is because the football season starts in 2 weeks. So Barnsley are unable to do full capacity, and that's the reason why. But it's very unheard of. Like Ben Geelong said in an interview of October Red, to get a venue, a football stadium that would host a fight 2 weeks before the league starts is unheard of.
Yeah.
So, big up to Barnsley. They really wanted it. They're pulling up for their city. And, that's one thing I can credit Boxer for is these football stadium cards are really doing the most. They're doing bits. Ben's taking them to towns that boxing don't normally go to. Barnsley haven't had this before. Simpson's fighting in front of a home crowd. It's big, man. It's big. I'm excited to watch it anyway, but I've got Simpson winning.
Yeah, if I'm honest, I don't think it will be that competitive. But Chelly's game, he'll come and he'll come for the fight, so it should be good. Undercard wise, the only one that's probably really worth mentioning is Caroline Dubois. She should win. She probably will win. But it's a good card. It's got a lot of sort of up and coming. It's got a lot of boxers, sort of either new guys or up and coming. And then did they have another show announced, or no? This is the sort of last one, so they'll be announcing stuff soon. Obviously, they've just signed Chris Eubank Jr., so he'll be headlining something.
Partnership, to be fair, but I don't know what that means.
Oh, okay.
I don't think anyone knows what it means. But yeah, we'll go with he signed for Boxer, but I've heard it's not straightforward.
No, right. But well, either way, he will be the headline for whatever event later in the year. Obviously, there's a couple of the young guys that they've got that need to get out. I mean, Fidel Riley broke his rib actually in his last fight, so that's why he's been out so long. They want to keep Ben Whittaker active, although he's been out quite a lot this year, so it's not a massive.
I'm hearing he's only got a couple fights left on his contract.
Yeah, and he doesn't look like he wants to sign a new one from what not all, but near all reports are saying. So could lose out on him. it's a good card. It's a good card on Saturday. It's also definitely worth watching before the staying up for Crawford Madrimov, which I have to do. You have to do it. It's the first fight is Andy Cruz. So
what is it? Saturday, yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be like 5, 6 in the morning Sunday when we actually watch Crawford.
Where are you watching this?
At home. Thinking of potentially doing a live. No, I'm home alone, so potentially a live stream.
We might have to do a live stream for it.
Yeah, it's a big enough event, isn't it?
Yeah, man. I'll have to go sleep, wake up, and get a couple of people on for the live stream as well. It'll be good. We definitely should look at that. Guys, we might do a live stream. We'll see.
Yeah. This thing, I'm not here on Saturday day, so it's whether or not it's what time I get home. But I should be home well before like 1 when the fight starts. I don't know when the fights start, 1 or 2 in the morning, which is insane. But that'd be quite good actually, because I guess more American audience for that. But yeah, no, we can sort that. That is boxing this week. That is everything that's happened. That is all the predictions. That is everything that's going to happen. Next week, we should have some Olympic medals. So we'll bring that up if they're interesting. We'll have a Crawford Madrimov winner. We'll have all of that results. We'll have a Chelly Simpson winner. We'll have what's fight week next week? August 10th. Who's fighting August 10th? Let's get on box, right? It's the end of the episode. We can be slower and less cool, less on it. Right. Schedule. Page 10 or something. Oh, fuck. Come on.
I can tell you if you want.
Yeah, go
on. Luis Alberto Lopez v. Angelo Leo for the IBF World Heavyweight title.
Okay.
That's in New Mexico. So, we've got that going on as well. There's actually a card which has been announced, not for 10th, but there is a small hall pro show card which I think is worth announcing. Fight Zone are doing a UK v US card for the small hall.
Really?
Yes, in the US. So it's Roy Jones Jr.'s team v Spencer Oliver's team.
That's quite good. Maybe worth the watch. Saturday, 10th of August. I knew there was a reason I brought it up. Virgil Ortiz Jr. So return of him, which I think is for a mandatory. That's for an interim, so mandatory. 22-0, 22 knockouts coming up, basically. But we'll get onto that. Right. Thank you for watching the live. I think that's everything in an hour 13. That's too bad. That was quite a lot to talk about. So
yes, sir.
We did actually have we've had a comment now from Steve. Is this not just a genetic advantage in the same way that Michael Phelps had in the swimming or Usain Bolt in the sprinting? No, don't think so, because we're talking about the thing with the Usain Bolt thing is that could anybody be faster than him? No, but it was fair. It wasn't that Usain Bolt had something else about him that meant that the others could never catch up. It was just he just was that good. This is a bit different, where it's a person that actually does have a genetic advantage that the others can't get. It's not, I don't even know how to describe it, but for me, no, it's a different thing. But we do appreciate the comment, so that's always good. Slightly delayed, so I don't know what's happened there. I don't know if your internet's been a bit weird, but right. So all the comments are sorted. TikTok kind of died about an hour ago because of the stupid restriction.
Well done, Connor. Well done, Connor.
We'll have a look at that. Yeah.
That was your first stream on TikTok with 1,000 followers as well. That went well.
Yeah. Although I think we've dropped to 999 because somebody's a nubbin. 997. Oh, it's because I've not uploaded clips. I worked too hard on an intro, and now people aren't interested. Right. Yeah, we'll sort that. Right. So, like, subscribe. Let me end the TikTok one because there's no point being live there anyway. Like, subscribe. Get ready for the next one, which will be obviously next week when we've got the winners. Potentially a live stream on Saturday night. If you're in the UK, you can put it on one monitor or put it on the TV, watch us on the phone, have a bit of a crowd when you're in your own at 4 in the morning.
The Zone.
Yeah, of course. The Zone app, mate. Loaded up already. So all of this potentially on Saturday, but you'll know if you follow us on social media, whether that's TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. I don't post on there, but still Twitter might as well. Might be live then, but definitely next week. So subscribe, like all the rest of it, like I've already said about 1,000 times. And Paolo, let me get rid of the banner and you can do the greatest outro of all time.
Like, share, and subscribe. Subscribe whilst you can, because when you can't, you can't.
Yeah, that's true. It's deep. Yeah.
Very deep.